just from a meeting where we were looking at our Gavi full country evaluation report, and I'm reminded of the value of using qualitative and quantitative methods or mixed methods in such work. We've been doing this evaluation for 5 or 6 years now to look at my immunization program in Zambia, and it has shown me the value of combining these types of approaches to research and evaluation, and how that strengthens your research work. So we do have what is called a robustness ranking, where we rank how robust our findings are, because if you're going to make recommendations, of course, one has to get a sense of, how strong is this evidence that you're giving me. And so we use that robustness ranking. And the thing with that ranking is that you find most of the time that when the findings are triangulated with qualitative and quantitative findings, then the robustness is quite high, and so it gives you pretty good confidence that what you are recommending or what you are telling the immunization program is solid evidence. But also brings me to the point of one of the biggest issues you find as a researcher, especially if you are into qualitative research as well, is that a lot of researchers, those who are quantitatively inclined, don't seem to appreciate the value of qualitative research. And this, I think, is a big gap in a lot of research environments. I often find also that when we have, for instance, graduate forums where we critique master's students' research, that a lot of the lecturers would talk about, but your methodology is purely qualitative, how strong is that? And you should have some quantitative methods in there and so on, which is fair criticism, but I find often it stems from a misunderstanding of the value of qualitative research. And there is this tendency among quantitative people to rubbish qualitative research, because it's not numbers, it's not figures, it's not statistics. Therefore, how much can we trust these findings? And that irritates me quite a lot, because, I understand both the quantitative and qualitative side of things. And I realize that, you cannot distill human experience to just numbers. There are some phenomena, some things we can investigate as numbers, but there is a lot of things we cannot investigate as numbers. Definitely, human experience is too rich to be just numbers and statistics and so on. Some things we need to go in depth and discuss and find out the nitty-gritties about the issue that we are investigating. And so I'm always trying to impress upon these people that there is value in qualitative research on its own. In combination with quantitative research, it is still valuable, and a lot can be learned through that process. And oftentimes you find, the two have a complementary role, so that, one does not take away from the other. Each one has its advantages and disadvantages, and we just have to know how to use both methods in our work. So if you are a young researcher, or if you are an old researcher too, who's not too stuck in their ways, I would urge you to look into the value of qualitative research. You don't have to be strong in both areas. You can be stronger in one area than another. That's really up to you. But the fact of the matter is that you have to have at least an understanding of the other side of the equation, so that you can appreciate when people present these qualitative findings to you. It will help you also in your literature search to not discard qualitative papers, and it will help you to critique such work better. But also, it will also help you to know, what's the value of this kind of approach to my own work. How can I use this to enrich my work, which is mainly quantitative. So you don't have to be strong in all areas. Somebody like me who loves both sides of the equation, I think I'm quite equally strong in both areas. So there's no problem. But if that's not you, just make sure you understand at least one side of that equation and appreciate the value of qualitative research. That's our tip for today. So long, folks.